Alright, kind of a response video to Nick's video, but not really. The futility thing. I'll just comment regarding some of the comments on the video. People, even Nick's got it though, use the word a happy life, and we all use this phrase, a happy life, and it's completely subjectively defined. So people just raise their hand and say, yes, I had a happy life, and they could have spent 30 years in prison, or could have gone through some horrors, lost both their legs in the war or something. There's people say I had a happy life today because yes, I was able to suck some gruel through a straw, or I was able to look out my hospital window and see a butterfly, and therefore I'm living a happy life. It's just bullshit. I mean, I can say it. I can say the words. I can make, I think, even the more relevant argument that I'd rather be me than you. There's no life I'd rather live than mine. And but even that's tainted by the fact that I have my own sensibilities, and anybody else's sensibilities are going to seem wrong. So their lifestyle is likely going to seem wrong from my perspective, because they're going to accept circumstances that I wouldn't accept, and they're going to indulge in activities that I would find irritating and annoying rather than satisfying. So it's all subjective bullshit. I've had this argument with people before. They keep thinking that the purpose of life is to be happy, whatever that means, that subjectively defined thing. And I would argue that the only perfect purpose we can extract from this circumstance is to be optimally efficient, or in other words, productive, to in the world and in our lives create more comfort, satisfaction, eliminate more suffering than we cause or create, either by our own personal experience or through the experience we affect other people in having. And that's the definition of a good life, or a bad life, is how you satisfy that equation. And that's all that really matters. But there are some people who just completely discount any of it being relevant. To read their comments, you'd almost have to assume that they actually believe it doesn't matter how miserable human beings are. You could kill billions of them horribly in a Holocaust, and they would say, well, it doesn't really matter. It's all an illusion, suffering. Some kind of nonsense like that. And I can only think of them as being sociopaths, as being the scariest kind of people to have on this planet. Because that's essentially what a mass murderer does. Is they're able to somehow in their heads make an equation that makes it sensible for them to take somebody else's welfare and consume it, to cause them pain for their own pleasure, because somehow they don't recognize that there's any equation or that it matters. And it's just insane. So I don't even know how these people, it just feels a little weird to engage in a conversation and comments with people who are no better than John Wayne Gacy or Bundy. These are crazy fucks who can't figure out that there's a value equation in the real world that involves this capacity to be harmed. Consciousness is not an insignificant manifestation of life on this planet. Life didn't have to have consciousness, but it does have it. And in having it, it is a significant event. And they just, philosophically dispose of that by just saying no. I'm just going to pretend it doesn't exist or it doesn't mean anything, and it's just a pretense, because I don't think there's any logic to say that there's every indication that it does matter. There's not every indication that it doesn't matter. So that doesn't make any sense to say it doesn't matter, because there's no evidence of this not mattering. And there's plenty of evidence that it does matter. But anyway, from our own experience. And there are lots of lawnmower noise. So I will probably, I think I'll edit here. Weird. I got like 3 guys doing one field over there. Silly rich people. A field no one uses. Really stupid. But anyway. Well, the noise isn't that bad. Well, it's bad enough. It's distracting me, and I'm the one having to make the video. So if I'm distracted, that's problematic. So, till later. Alright, back to this happiness thing again. I made this argument before, but, this satisfaction thing. It's worth stressing. There's 2 aspects to it. There's the actual pleasure you receive from doing something, accomplishing it, gaining it. And then there's the satisfaction of just having the desire. I mean, there's a certain positive sense related to desire. I mean, desire is sort of fun. There's 2 motivations in our lives. I mean, things that repel us and things that attract us. And it's kind of fun to be attracted. So that's sort of an illusion. That's the part that I would argue is a demonstration of the addictive nature of our psychology. And that's a different equation, because are we measuring the value or the perception of value of the chase, or are we measuring the value of accomplishment? And I think most people, when they're doing the equation, doing the math in their head, are being deluded by their own addiction into thinking desire itself is a good thing, that it's an accomplishment somehow. It skews their math anyway. It bends the math. It makes it possible for them to come up with this happy word for circumstances that really don't have anything to do with being happy. They have to do with being built to chase. I mean, we've sort of been built to run, so we find running enjoyable. That's an equation that should be suspect, I guess, is what I'd say. We should automatically be a little careful in drawing conclusions when we know that obviously our psychology has been built to do this nonsense. And so we're not going to be able to see it as nonsense if our psychology is saying it's not nonsense. But when you're doing the philosophical question, you should get past your psychological bullshit. That's in theory anyway. So anyway, I'll add something to this video when time